Welcome back to Beyond the 90, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a very, very special guest for you. One of the first people ever to come on the channel as a guest. For not fantastic man. If you don't know her already, make sure you subscribe to him in the link below and follow his Twitter and stuff. Doug from the Doug Out Football channel. Mate, how have you been?
It's been a while, Neil. It has been a while since I obviously last spoke to you. But no, I'm doing very well, and I hope you are as well.
Yeah, all is good. So again, yeah, all is well on the apart from Leicester performances, which brings us straight on to the first bit. We'll probably touch a little bit on Premier League, and Doug's knowledge of Premier League is phenomenal as well. So we'll definitely touch on the Premier League and stuff like that as well. But first of all, I know you're a massive Liverpool fan. I wanted to get your take on kind of, we were just speaking just off camera, and you were saying there's a little bit of similarities with where Leicester are at the moment and where Liverpool are about 2 years, 2.5 years into his reign. So I just wanted to give the floor to you and go, what similarities have you seen, and what's your perspective on the Liverpool management under Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to say that there are definitely similarities. I think the transfer window wasn't. I mean, I'm not sure it was the best transfer window for Leicester City. Obviously you got Patson Daka, you got Sumari, you got Bertrand, you got Vestergaard. I think you may have needed a lot more. And it reminds me of what the transfer window he had at Liverpool in this season, because he didn't get the signings he wanted. He still spent 117 million, let's put it that way. But the signings he got was Ricky Lambert, Adam Lallana, Emre Can, Lazar Markovic, Dejan Lovren, Divock Origi, Alberto Moreno, and Mario Balotelli. Now, obviously, most of them are flops, you'd have to say. Lazar Markovic was an absolute shocking signing. Mario Balotelli, I think, scored one goal in his time at Liverpool. Alberto Moreno, not a left back, he's a left winger, or so people had said. So yeah, it's very disappointing transfer window that he had at Liverpool. So and then it kind of just unraveled. And obviously, from your start to the season, this season, it hasn't been the best, has it?
No, it's not been the best. I was really excited going into this season, and I kind of disagree. In terms of the transfer window you had and the transfer window we had, we were looking at potentially this could be the perfect transfer window. We need to replace him with Jamie Vardy. We got that in Patson Daka, and I know Liverpool
Yeah.
fans have been asking for him and the whole situation around there. That's another half an hour discussion just about that. Sumari was a great talent coming up from Lille. We managed to get in early. I think everything was done by February from what we hear as well. So they managed to do the deal early, but they just dragged it out in terms of the personal terms and stuff like that. Then Vestergaard has been another. Yeah, it's not worked out. Apparently, from what we hear, Brendan Rodgers wanted him. I don't know if it's similar with Liverpool. Brendan Rodgers wanted him, but the scouts, because our scouts are notoriously quite good, they go, not sure about this one, and we go, don't bring him in. The last time that happened was Islam Somani for 30 million. So yeah, so again, it
Oh
was
yeah.
kind of a similar thing on your end in terms of he wanted it, but at the same time, the club weren't
Yeah,
really feeling it, and that was the manager.
we had a transfer committee. So some of his targets that he was wanting, he didn't get. I remember I think one target he tried to. I can't actually remember who it was, but Toby Alderweireld, I think, was the target for him, and obviously
Okay.
he went to Southampton that season as well. So yeah, it's been very disappointing for him, and the transfer committee wasn't the best because they were sort of determining who was coming in and who was sort of going out, etc. You know, I felt sorry for him in a little bit because obviously he lost Luis Suarez, and when you lose a player like Luis Suarez, you're always going to struggle. And obviously the signings that came in that season weren't great. I think the only real successes for me, I think, were probably Emre Can, Adam Lallana, and maybe to an extent Alberto Moreno, but
And then you're looking at
it,
what, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I wouldn't call that success. If you got that in the exam, your teacher go, you need to improve.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
So yeah, I thought it was interesting again the comparison, because we've had, I think, a good transfer window, and again something that Ethan's put. The most important thing, and kind of it's a cliche at this point, that Leicester lose their best players, which is not necessarily true. If you look, we've always had backup options. We've always, like, Sionchu was a good backup option, for example. So Sionchu to Maguire, even though Maguire went later in the window. You look at them and you go, right, we've always managed to replace these players in time. But that season, obviously, after the 2014-15 season, the way you fell off a little bit. But coming into that beginning of the season, was he sacked? I think you believe is in October.
Yeah, October the 4th. It was a 1-1 draw with Everton, and he got his marching orders then.
Interesting, because I think he's come. Oh, probably got to come on to a little bit about Celtic in a little bit. But in terms of that, he's come away as a manager. But we are seeing similarities. Was the football just a bit? Is it like you could see potential that was there, or was it just like the fans have turned on him and it was just dribble? Because I can imagine there's a lot of, with the expectation at Leicester and the expectation of Liverpool, they are just in two different worlds, and that's just the disadvantage of being a top 6 club and a club like Leicester.
Yeah, and I think if you look at it as well, it was starting to unravel. That season, it was starting to unravel. He made some very, very silly decisions. Team selections were a bit all over the top. I mean, he went to a Champions League game against Real Madrid and had Steven Gerrard on the bench. Now, the one thing you don't do when you play Real Madrid is put Steven Gerrard on the bench. So that we only lost 1-0, and you know that was his record in Europe was not great with us. I think it's safe to say he only had one season in Europe. I'm looking at your season in Europe at the moment, and it's mixed. Put it this way, I mean, you lost to what, Legia? You drew with Napoli, Legia Warsaw.
It sums up our season, I think. You've played 4 games, 2 at home, 2 away, and you've got 1 win, 2 draws, and 1 loss. You can take that as Leicester City are underperforming, but it's kind of, I don't know if the Liverpool fan was like, I think we're quite split. I think there's a minority of people on Twitter that are saying Rodgers out, and I think the majority of people are like, just get out of it, go away. But in terms of the formations he's playing, he's not learning from his lessons from set pieces. I don't know if that was an issue at Liverpool as well in terms of set pieces.
Oh, honestly, we could not defend any set pieces or anything like that when he was in charge.
It's the same thing.
I know how you feel.
Oh, that one. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better, but to know that he's not learned his lessons is quite devastating, to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, the speculation as well with I find it amazing that he's been linked with United. I find it absolutely amazing, but I don't see him moving. I don't see him moving mid-season. I know he did it with Celtic to go to Leicester, but I just don't see it happening this time. I mean, I don't even see United get rid of Solskjaer anytime soon either. So I think Rodgers is as good as to stay at Leicester at the moment.
And that's the thing. And I think one thing people forget, he will go on to better and bigger things. I think as you probably know, he speaks a little bit of Spanish. He says I think he's made it clear that he wants to go and manage in Ligon as well. Serie A, sorry. Serie A? La Liga. Bloody hell, I'm getting my countries confused now. I was like, that's not right. Anyway, might as well say the Bundesliga at this rate. Anyway, what the issue was, I thought, is that when we were playing, again, it's the same thing, and the expectations obviously are different with Leicester, but there's these performances where a lot of the crowd is going, we are better than this because of what we've achieved in recent times. But the group is kind of, I can see both sides of it, where the group is very hard. I mean, Napoli, Spartak Moscow, and Legia Warsaw is a hard group for Europa League. However, there's part of us that go, we should be aiming for these top things, and we should be beating these games. And I don't know if it was the same. He's making weird decisions. Like, what was a weird decision he made recently? Well, the 4-3-3 worked. There was some decisions I went, really? I really hope this works. And does he have his favourites that he starts to play every single game a little bit as well?
Well, he did at Liverpool. He kept playing Emre Can for some reason. I don't know why. He always seemed to play Emre Can. Joe Allen, he always seemed to play as well because obviously Welsh Xavi and people say that. People said that he was his favourite as well. Yeah, it was weird. He seemed to have played. Yeah, it was usually Chan and Allen in the midfield, and he would usually have Gerrard on the bench. I think he'd have Coutinho wide, Lallana wide, and obviously whoever was up front at the time. I think it was Ricky Lambert or Mario Balotelli, as well. So, and he had a habit of chopping and changing the goalkeepers as well, because we had obviously Simon Mignolet and Brad Jones, I think was the other goalkeeper, as well. And then obviously I do remember us having there was another one that's not coming to my head at the moment, but yeah, he has a habit of chopping and changing players. And Skirtle, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, chopping and changing is kind of what we're doing now to trying to figure out the right formation with like the right players and stuff. And we are building in a good way. And I think this is true. Iheanacho isn't one of his favourites. I don't think it's. I think he's played him out of force, not by choice. And it's kind of annoying because he's a player that's really underrated. I think he's one of the most informed players in 2021. I think he's got a better goal and assist ratio than Romelu Lukaku in 2021, which is insane considering how well he's been playing with Lukaku in Serie A. Make sure to get that one right this time. But yes, in terms of that, how did in his third, is it kind of a third season syndrome thing with Rodgers? Because obviously I've not been following since the Swansea's days, but for you guys, it seemed like it was on a steady decline. And the way we ended last year wasn't that bad in terms of obviously we won a trophy, but the slip was there, and it seemed like we'd continue to kind of fall down. I don't think, for instance, we're going to be towards the relegation zone or anything, but sitting in mid-table is kind of where it is where we deserve at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean we finished second in obviously 13-14, and then it was just a it was a poor season from start to finish. I mean we managed to get to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We lost 2-1 to Aston Villa at Wembley. We managed to get to the semi-finals of the League Cup as well. And yeah, the Champions League was disappointing. We had a group of Real Madrid, FC Basel, and Ludogorets Razgrad, and we finished third in that group because Real Madrid and Basel went through. And I seem to remember we lost to Madrid home and away, we lost to Basel away, and we drew with them at Anfield. And then I think we drew with Ludogorets Razgrad away and actually beat them at home. I remember that game very, very well. And then the Europa League, we played Besiktas and we got knocked out on penalties. And the highlight of that game was probably Dejan Lovren blasting a penalty that's probably gone into whatever the Turkish Sea is called over there. Yeah. Right. So it's it wasn't great, and Premier League we lost 12 games as well, and I think the season before I think we lost 4 or 5. So big drop off in there, and we drew 8 games as well. So. And you look at the goal difference as well. Like it was 52 goals for, 48 against. So you can understand that the problem we had was defending.
Do you know what? We're in a very similar. He's saying that I'm not again. This is the whole point of this is not to slag Brendan Rodgers off, but to kind of go right. What lessons has he learned? And when things are going well, as you know, Doug, you can't criticize them. But when things aren't going well, the fans are going to take notice and go, right, okay, we have set standards. Because, again, you were saying that in terms of the goals away in form. This season, we are 16-4, 18 against. So we are on -2 goal difference so far.
Yeah, that's not good. So you'll hopefully get into the plus goal difference. But yeah, that is very, very worrying. To be at this stage in the season minus goal difference.
Yes, it's still early. I think we will be okay. I think all things considered, because I mean we've got the same. I think again, if you look at we'll bring up the table. It might just be easier because again, this kind of comes on to part of the reason why I think this season is incredibly hard. It's just obviously you've got your top teams. Obviously you're up there, and West Ham are just doing phenomenally well as well.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah, I remember you were tweeting out afterwards, going, "Yeah, what a performance!" And they're I don't know if we heard, they are our bogey team and a half. I would take playing you guys. I think I tweeted out from Beyond the Night. I said anybody but West Ham. I would take anybody but West Ham. I'd take Man City. I'd take Chelsea, because West Ham have picked us up. We've lost 3-0 or 3-1, 3-2, and 4-1. The last 4 results.
Yeah,
yeah. He's just picked us apart at the seams. But kind of what I wanted to talk about again. Obviously, there is a nice group of, again, it looks bad that we're in 12th place. However, if you look at 17 points is not that far away. 2 points separates Man United from us, and then 3 points. So it is very tight in there. And you've got the likes of, these teams have strengthened massively. Obviously, Tottenham Hotspur have just got Conte. I'm yet to be convinced, because it's still Tottenham, but we'll have to see. Wolves have turned it around massively since the beginning of the season. Crystal Palace, Everton, Southampton are on a bit of run form. Brentford are playing well this season. There's just a bit of there is a great group of teams here that makes the Premier League so interesting.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, as you said, Wolves have had a very, very good upturn in fortunes. Yes, I know they lost to Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace have been on a very, very good run as well. Beating Manchester City as well, home away, which was amazing. Everton started very well. They've kind of lost their way a little bit, but yeah, as you say, it's very, very tight. And Manchester United are not playing the best either, so. You beat them pretty comfortably as well, 4-2 at the King Power as well. And as you say, there is still a lot to play for. And look, even Brighton are 7th. Who would have predicted them to be top 7 so far? So yeah, 11 games in. At least nothing's won in November.
Yeah, again, and then I've just say as well, obviously you've got like massive 23, 10 for West Ham United, -7 for Tottenham. My God, that's -7.
Well, how many times are they losing like 3-0 every single week? Like I think they lost 3-0 to Palace, 3-0 to
Arsenal.
I think 3-0 to Man United. There's another one, but
yeah, 3-0 to Man United.
They kept losing like by a 3-goal margin.
And they only won 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 as well in the first 3 results.
Yeah, it's not the best anyway, but at least they were winning games. And again, Southampton have turned their fortunes around as well.
Yeah,
and you'll be obviously, I think every Leicester fan will be pleased that they're above Villa, who have just got obviously rid of Dean Smith.
You see, this is the misconception about the Midlands. There's 2 parts of it. There's the East Midlands and there's the West Midlands. The West Midlands, we don't like. For example, if we play in Aston Villa, we're like, oh, fair enough. There's no real rivalry. We care about Nottingham. We care about Derby. The only team in the West Midlands we care about is Coventry, because they're very close. In regards to like Wolves, we actually quite like each other, because they kind of went through a similar thing that we did. Came up from the Championship, secured. Bought a load of players, similar amount of wealth, similar kind of Asian owners as well. Obviously, like the way we're doing things and they're doing things, I think our fan base is their fan base is a lot more against the fans, because of the ticket prices being raised and them not investing in the squad in any way. But in terms of just to cut you off, but the West Midlands, they have their own rivalry. Birmingham and their own little entity. In the East Midlands, it's just Nottingham Forest, Derby, but to be honest, not of them are not in the same league, and there's none of it. There's none of it really in the Premier League. So when I see Wolves do well, I'm actually quite happy, and it's not just for sweet as our soccer.
Yeah, obviously James and Scott over there at Sweet and Sour. Yeah, great channel. Obviously, go and check them out. But Wolves have done very, very well. I think people kind of questioned the appointment of sort of Bruno Lage, but to be fair, I think he's done really, really well. And as Ethan says, it is very, very congested. And, one win will get you up to 6th place, basically.
Yeah. Which is, again, so that's why at this stage in the season, you're saying it's not good. any of these teams could go up and go down, and it just shows you again how even things are. In terms of there's been a lot more draws than I'd imagined. Like even Wolves have won 5, lost 5. I think won, lost 5. It's very congested. Teams like Crystal Palace have absolutely had again. Ali's going to be super happy, and part of me expects him to just pop in the conversation. He's popped up the last couple of times with absolute gems of comments as well, especially when the Brighton fan was on. But again, winless, lossless in 5. That's a very good form.
They're in very, very good form. Palace, very, very good form indeed. But Patrick Vieira deserves a lot of credit. But people said that he wasn't going to do very, very well at Crystal Palace. That people shout out to the 4-4 was it 442 magazine that actually had Crystal Palace to be bottom. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I actually have that. I actually have that magazine somewhere in here, and unfortunately, I actually remember reading that, and I just could not believe they picked Crystal Palace, because I thought to myself, when I was obviously doing my Premier League predictions, obviously I think I had Norwich, I had Watford. I can't remember the third team that I had to go down, but Crystal Palace were nowhere near the relegation zone for me. So it's a credit to Patrick Vieira, and I've seen people say that this Palace side are very, very good, very, very very, very good team as well. Obviously, you'll know, because obviously you drew 2-2 with them in Selhurst Park.
Yeah, exactly. We not just that. Obviously, they got one of the talents from Scotland as well, in a player that last time we spoke on this channel, in Edouard.
Yes. Yeah, so, I know. I'm amazed he ended up at Palace. I thought you guys were actually going to, go and get him, but just unfortunate that Palace pipped it. I think you obviously got Daka, which was a very, very good signing. But yeah, he has actually, he started well. He's kind of lost his way a little bit, but he is a handful. He is a big, big handful, and him and Benteke up front is very, very good for Palace.
Yeah, and Elise is absolutely smashing it. I think he's phenomenal player. Eze's got to come back as well. He's doing some training, so when they come back, the strength and depth there. If they can keep Gallagher next year, obviously it's a long way away. But he looks like he's enjoying himself. It's a really good blueprint. I just hope they do well, apart from when they play us. One of those things. But yeah, it's just such a strong Premier League this year. In terms of Liverpool, and obviously coming back to it a little bit, obviously, again, it's a little bit of a slip up. Again, it's you were, until this loss, you had like win, just a loss and then a draw. I think you'll be okay. And I don't think we play. Oh, do you know when we play you? I've got this, because I'm like, this is taking the mick.
It's something like the 22nd of December and then the 28th of December.
26th and 28th. And we've got Man City the game before. And I went, are you serious? And I went, how many times? I
swear that happened to you last season. You had us, I think, Boxing Day, then you get Man City. So it's like roles reversed again.
Just be kind to us, Doug. We have your ex-man. Actually, you want to pummel your ex-manager. That's not how it happens. But yes, so we do have you then. We'll definitely get you on for a preview then. But in terms of Liverpool season, how's that been going? And obviously, there's been people have been, again, rightfully so. Mohamed Salah has been amazing. But I always have to stick up for Jamie Vardy, because until recently, he was keeping up with him. And I still think he's around there as well.
Yeah, look, I think obviously a blip yesterday by on Sunday, losing to West Ham. But I have to say, although West Ham were the better team throughout that game, we were second best throughout, and they took advantage of our vulnerability from set pieces. So West Ham deserved to win. But yeah, overall, it's been a very, very good start to the season. I think the draws are a bit of a killer as well. Like, obviously, we drew with Chelsea. They were down to 10 men. They defended very, very well. They look like they could be up there by the end of the season. I think we'll be up there as well. But I'm not sure we're capable enough to win it, unfortunately. I think Champions League has been very, very good. 4 wins out of 4. Beating a very good Atletico Madrid side.
Yeah,
home and away as well. So we're still in the League Cup. We've still got the FA Cup to come as well. And obviously,
Which we play you in.
Indeed, and I do believe that's the 22nd of December, if I remember rightly, and it's not even on TV either.
Twice in a week. We've got you
Yeah.
twice in like 6 days.
Yeah. So
basically,
it'll be like, oh yeah, hello, League Cup tie, and then basically 28th, yeah, we've got you at the King Power. So
yeah, you might as well just go on holiday.
You're traveling to Anfield on the 22nd, and then we're traveling to the King Power on the 28th.
Oh, proper home and away, that one then. Jeez, I was looking at it as a proper tough fixture. But yes, right. Anyway, we'll be well, that's an interesting question. Thoughts on FSG? Sorry, we'll get to some of your comments. You've been amazing, but I've just been nattering to Doug.
They have their good points and they have their bad points. I think the Super League just showed that they are shrewd businessmen and obviously caring about money, etc. But they have done a lot for the club. I mean, that new main stand that they brought in. I think they're trying to get the Anfield Road end extended as well. They have their good points and they have their bad points, but I'm on the fence with them at the moment. I think the Super League, I was very, very angry because
Still your banner.
I never, yeah,
on Twitter, I think.
I was still really, really mad about that. So, but apart from that, they're all right. They're all right. You hardly see them at the games anyway. I mean that's like the Glazers at Man United. You hardly see them at any games. I think you hardly see the Cronkies at Arsenal as well. So yeah,
they've got multiple businesses. They're just like,
oh yeah.
For them, it's a badge that they wear rather than a club that they love.
I mean, I think people would obviously look up to your owner as well, like being one of the best in the Premier League. Obviously, rest his soul, Kun Vichai. He was a very, very good owner, and obviously he's passed on to his son, who's doing a fantastic job as well. So I think people look up to Leicester as a club to be for a good owner for sure.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. I think I can't remember what I was saying but I'm hoping this is the way that the Saudi owners go for Newcastle. That they go about it this way. They've seen plenty of blueprints in terms of our ownership, other ownerships around. They've got plenty of case studies. Man City's is a great example, but they've got enough money to do both, pretty much, to do our owners and the Man City owners. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but at this point, I think people are just celebrating my people are still drunk from my Ashley leaving, I think. But going back to Liverpool, I think January again, it will be an interesting place to see where they both end up in January. Obviously, we know that Liverpool play the same team game in, game out, and I know you had massive injuries around that time. There was a drop off for that reason as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, January African Cup of Nations as well. There's quite a lot of I think again, so that I can understand and see why that's the case for you. And you've not really got the squad depth, so I can understand that. But I think it could be I've got a feeling that Klopp's going to just get it together and go, right, he has this brilliant mentality. I think Brendan Rodgers used to have of like, right, we're in this together, back to the wall, let's go and smash as many teams as possible. And when Klopp speaks, people just want to play for him and they just want to keep winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think January will determine our season because obviously we will be missing Salah, we'll be missing Mane, we'll be missing Keita as well. So it's about all those players that can step up. Obviously, Origi scored against West Ham. Did really, really well. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit more of Minamino. You've got Firmino, you've got Jota there as well. So yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think they're only missing 3 Premier League games, I think, and I think one of them's Brentford. I think one of them's Palace, and I can't remember the other one. I think it's an FA Cup tie, if I seem to remember that as well. So yeah, I think we'll be fine as long as they don't come back injured. That's the main thing.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But yeah, I've got anything to think of that part of that. But wrapping up pretty much. But again, if you've not again, Doug knows loads about football, all sorts of football. Link in the description. Do you want to plug away, Doug? I know I've kind of done it for you, but feel free to plug away as well. And you're nearly close to 1.5k, and we need to try and get you there.
Yeah, my channel is the Dog Out Football channel, and as Neil says, I am 11 away from 1.5k, so very, very close as well. That is my Twitter handle. Yeah, I did it right that time. I never get that right. Never get that right with the way it goes.
Way with this.
It is, yeah. So that's my Twitter handle. My Instagram is Douglas Horn. I'm also on Facebook at Douglas James Horn.
Link in the description to everything. But any final words here before you want to say, Doug? Because again, I think we'll be okay. This wasn't here to come and bash Brendan Rodgers. It's just about to be honest. Obviously, you watching Liverpool more than myself, and I thought it'd be an interesting chat about that. But your thoughts? I think we will be able to turn it around on Brendan Rodgers, though, and turn it around. We are still mid-table. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be absolutely fine. Look, if you do end up not qualifying for the next round of the Europa League, maybe that will help you. Having obviously you've got the League Cup as well.
League, though.
Oh no. I mean, I've seen some of those teams in there. It's
Europa League rejects.
It is not a good league at all. Not a good competition either. I mean, Tottenham are even struggling in that, so that kind of says it all. Really, they just want to be out of that as well. So, but yeah, if you go out in the Europa League, then you've obviously got the league to look ahead. So you've got the League Cup that is against us, and obviously you'll have the FA Cup and to come up as well. So yeah, I think you'll be fine.
I'm hoping so. But yeah, make sure you check out Doug Town down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We've got some good interviews and stuff coming soon. I know I keep teasing it, but they are coming, I promise. We'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.